Huh. This is actually not what I was expecting to see in here. Just like desks with books and stuff. Okay. What do we got here?
A failure is
What?
just a step to a success.
The ink has not yet dried, but you cannot distinguish the letters on the page. The lines seem to have gone mad, crawling over and trying to devour each other. Huh. Alright, let's keep moving. I want to at least meet the servant that's going to be waiting for us. Hey, girl. Our Lady in Shadow, the Queen of the Midnight Isles, Lady Nocticula, Demon, Lord of Darkness and Lust. Hey, guys. Can I just come on through? Damn, look at that floor. It's nice. Is that really Vorlish?
Greetings.
A stately shadow comes towards you. In its hands, a small mirror sparkles and shimmers with an unsettling light. Greetings, Baron. Oh, it's got the music going.
Greetings, Commander.
The Dratch called Suture grins as he shifts clumsily from foot to foot in a crude attempt at a courtly bow.
Lady Arilu, allow me to express my deepest admiration of your work, and may I just ask...
Under Arilu's imperious gaze, Ninio stutters and awkwardly falls silent. I came to speak with Nocticula, not you, Arilu. What are you doing here, Arilu? And with the Suture in tow. Fancy seeing you here. I have a lot of questions for you.
You are looking for answers. That's good. That is why I am here. I have much to tell you.
A hint of a smile dances across Arilu's lips.
You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
It has been a long path. It's been, what, 160 episodes, but probably more close with all the reloads and everything. Probably closer to like maybe 175 hours or something. No, it's been a long time. We still got a long way to go, I feel like, too. Hello? Hey, it's me.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of a Nahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result. The essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers.
Concomitant.
The time has come to put my plan into action.
Ow. Is that when I fell down into the Undercity in Canabras?
You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
No, that had to have been before, right? Because she brought us to the city, I think. Rilu stares at you, her gaze unrelenting, probing. The witch is silent for a long time. When she speaks, her voice is unreadable, betraying no emotion. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Aurelia worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The Dretch grins in satisfaction. Yeah, we pretty much figured that she had done something with her soul to, you know, allow us to get our mythic powers. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
Ow! As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops. What?
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
With an elegant flick of her wrist, Arilu conjures a familiar purple shimmer in the air before her. It's not going to work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well, then. Ask your questions, and I will answer.
Arilu winces slightly, but quickly regains her composure. What is this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound, in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
Interesting. You followed me?
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth.
Really?
From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny.
I always knew I was special.
I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I'm glad you found my gift useful.
Oh shit. You can't remember where did you get the bracers with your name and inscription, I promise, on them. Seems like you've always had them. What? I don't know.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canobris. In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
As it turns out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Daskari. Yeah, number 2 is definitely what's going on in his head, but now's not the time for bravado in the middle of Nocticula's palace. So number 1.
They are not my masters. They are a resource.
Why was that whole ploy with the lab necessary? You even sacrificed your servant, the suture, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
All you know is trickery and deceit. How can I trust you?
Honesty is a luxury we cannot often afford. I don't expect you to understand this now, but at least try to remember it for the future.
We have a lot to ask her. Tell me about the Nahindrian crystals. Start from the beginning.
Nahindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss. And there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nahindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles.
Interesting.
Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord.
That's not good.
You saw the result. A dagger made from Discari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nahindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
Man, I wish I had that knife still. So you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power.
Not just any creatures, demons and half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe.
Arilu's eyes grow distant for a moment.
I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Discari's attack on Canabris? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive. All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
It's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Who do you really serve? Discari? Baphomet?
Both. And neither. I have served both Discari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
Arilu's tone is indifferent as she informs you of this, as if she were simply commenting on the weather, rather than her obeisance before demon lords. Man, this is okay, what what is she after? My power is different from that of Jerabeth, Nukaneth, and the other demons.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Discari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords. Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water. But it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen.
Indeed.
You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
Thank you. Arilu gives you an appraising look. I see a glow emanating from your soul. You have committed a crime against the universal order, and I am giving you a chance to repent here and now. It's not the time. No, I guess so.
I remember our first meeting. Many years ago, you suddenly appeared in my house, and then just as suddenly you disappeared. Years passed before everything fell into place, and I understood the meaning behind your appearance. I don't know what changes you have already wrought to bring this world about, but one thing will remain unchanged in any space-time continuum. I will not regret what I did, not for a moment.
Don't count on that. Time travel is one powerful thing. What I want to know is this. What do you want from me?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Shit. This is a decision, isn't it? I will not refuse this power, but I will decide how to use it. So, do we take her power, or do we refuse the power? So the gut reaction I think Barrett would have here, probably, is no. That he won't eat out of her hand, even if it makes me weaker. But, you know, after questioning her and thinking about things, the power I already have is from her. We gotta know. We have to know. I will not refuse this power. This is a tough decision. I wish I could just save it here and think about it for a week. One thing's for sure. We need more power. Right? Or do we? Or do we? I don't think he wouldn't accept it. I won't eat out of your hand, Arilu, even if it makes me weaker. You channel all your power into these words, and strangely, you feel a surge of power within you in response. You turned down what Arilu Vorlish offered you, and your whole being embraces that choice. A wave of cold washes over your chest, and the open wound becomes smaller, as if your decision compelled it to shrink.
That effect. How unexpected. It deserves to be studied, but I will see to that later.
Arilu wearily draws back her hand, and the swirl of glowing essence disappears.
Enough of this madness!
The voice of the hand...
I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
The voice of the hand of the inheritor thunders beside you. Arilu does not move, seemingly unaware of his presence.
Away from this festering hole! I must bring this terrible truth to Queen Galfrey, and save those who can be saved from this darkness.
The angel's voice fades, and you can no longer feel his presence. He has disappeared. That little bitch! He just betrayed me! The hand of the inheritor trusted you, mistakenly believing you were chosen by heaven, but your actions undermined his trust. What? I said no! I said no! What? What do you mean?
I want to help you close the world wound.
Arilu looks at you for a while, then she speaks. Hey. Arilu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Lady Nocticula, ruler of Elutionira, in the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord, and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Aurilu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Arushale swiftly drops to one knee and bows her head. Is she betraying me too?
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Arushale. You may rise.
Nocticula nods casually in the succubus's direction.
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
Arushale stands up awkwardly and looks at Nocticula first, then at you, with a stunned expression. I have too many questions, and I demand answers. You've been sitting on your throne and listening to us the whole time? Reach for your weapon. A word of warning, don't play games with me. I'm not afraid to fight you. Bow respectfully. Please allow me to greet you, great ruler of the Midnight Isles. Smirk jauntily. Yeah, hi. Just so we understand each other, I'm not going to grovel on my knees before you. Smiles charmingly. You are truly resplendent, Lady in Shadow. It would bring me great happiness to get to know you better. Ooh. Kneel. My Lady in Shadow, please allow me to swear my allegiance to you and be your loyal servant. Nod calmly. My greetings, Lady Nocticula. I have so many questions.
You are a guest here, mortal. A guest of the Lady in Shadow, the vanquisher of many a demon lord. I am the only one here who is entitled to demand answers. You may ask your questions when I allow you to do so. For now, remember your manners and greet me properly.
Oh my. You've been sitting on your throne and listening to us this whole time?
Naturally. I am in the habit of observing my servants and guests while remaining unseen. Their private thoughts fly most eagerly from their lips when they believe themselves to be unwatched. And secrets exchanged in whispers are often invaluable.
Please allow me to greet you, great ruler of the Midnight Isles.
Your manner does not lack courtesy. That is to be commended.
She nods graciously.
I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers.
Really?
But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alashanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nahindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Oh. Nocticula's tone is casual, but her eyes are intent, scrutinizing you. Yeah, what the hell? You were able to see the Hand-Handed Inheritor despite all his enchantments? Why do you think the Hand-Handed Inheritor is going to die? Say nothing. You were able to see him?
The herald of that upstart goddess. Here.
Aurilu tilts her head slightly.
Yes, although his defenses were quite intricate. A commendable precaution on his part, as word of the Hand of the Inheritor descending once more into the abyss reached the Echo of Discari almost immediately. Mind you, vindictiveness and guile have always been among his best qualities.
The Hand-Handed Inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the abyss, but not yours?
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who are more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
I gotta say, she's awesome so far. Like, I feel like I am not ever going to be a match for her. Nocticula gives you a pleased and mysterious smile. Tell me about the Echo of Discari.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Galarian and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eridan, protector of humankind. Eridan gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Eridan. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eridan, especially his inheritor, Iomade. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomade's pet pug, if she had one.
Why does the Echo of Discari prey upon the hand of the inheritor?
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echo suffered more than one defeat. First at Eridan's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomade himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomade, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
She knows a lot. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. Ah! The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink.
Another island, another loss. Enough! I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare.
There is steel in Nocticula's voice. Nocticula sends the green-eyed servant away and turns her face to you once again. I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the mines of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier.
What do you mean by that?
I value servants such as Laulia. She stayed in character, even when you had decided to finish her off. Your merciful decision has left a lovely scar on her beautiful body. I have prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Galarian. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
Oh, man, this is a lot to take in. My companion Ember would like to speak with you.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach. I have heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Cocking an eyebrow, Nocticula looks down on her. Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hand against her heart as she stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Aurelia wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is Elutionira, not Nerician. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
Nocticula throws a disgusted look at the crying girl.
I know what you have to do to others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
Ember wipes her face with her sleeve. You should hear her out.
In my realm, I decide to whom I should listen and whom I should hang. Be quiet. You wanted me to hear the girl out. Then let her babble on until I tire of her. So, where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen. I've seen people burned alive. People being devoured by monsters. People burying their children. They were in pain. So much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
After taking a trembling breath, Ember wipes the tears streaming down her face.
What is this sacred drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
Nocticula's lips curl in distaste. I've seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. Perhaps it would benefit you to listen to her as well. I doubt you will be able to understand her message. You're a demon. Of course, speeches about goodness make no sense to you. I don't know. I just thought it would be amusing to bring you two together and listen. Gonna believe in Ember. I've seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. People have changed. I don't know if you would, but...
As if I hadn't seen enough sanctimonious bores in my life. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart?
Yeah.
Perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
Nocticula stares Ember straight in the face.
No. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen! You are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
Oh, the Redeemer Queen. That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool.
Tilting her head back, Nocticula explodes with wild laughter. Her body is shaking, and she doubles over, slapping her thighs with her palms. When she's finally done laughing, she catches her breath. She wipes the tears from her eyes.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
Upon giving Nocticula one last smile, Ember ducks behind your back. You hear her whispering. Who knows?
I suppose you're right. We'll see what happens.
I told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again!
Alright, I might have to split this into 2 episodes, entering the palace. I was expecting it to be a little long once we got in here, but this is a lot. My goodness. Did it really create me? Oh, this part's not voiced. Damn. I liked her voice actor. She has certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Vorlish designed the World Wound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we required a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and that wound on your chest were the results of her experiments, when she infused your soul with the essence of the Abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified, to the extent that it was possible, so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of the Nahindrian crystal. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you have followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One can only hope that you are prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, says Aureliu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool, whom we could fling into the flames of the World Wound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Aureliu off. Don't be too hasty. We have burdened him with enough revelations for now. Yeah, seriously. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself. Then you can share all the details. What exactly are you offering me? I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I've never schemed against the Galarian, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane. At least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. Why would you want to close the wound? When the World Wound opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it into a crossroad of worlds, a place where demons, devils, and even angels can meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas. But the Midnight Isles were not the only realm that had been linked to the Galarian through the wound. Dascari and Baphomet now also have a way from their realms into your plane. Their servants flooded my islands and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. They were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether in Galarian or in another abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass, and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord is a polite fiction. Both the Duskarites and the Baphomets are attempting to amass their power and influence Lucianira to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlish told them about the Nahindrian crystals. They realized what kind of power the crystals hold, and now they are determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but flotsam. slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishiar. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans. So instead, I will teach my neighbors a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. Why do you need me? If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Dascari could never best me, but they could sow enough chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of Elutionira. No, I will wage war on my own terms, in the shadows, and I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into the back of into my enemy's back. And since Galfrey happened to send you to my realm, you have the honor of becoming my blade, mortal. Be glad you're wielding my skill by... Is Galfrey her servant? Because she said she was watching me a little before I came to the Abyss. I don't know. We should also reveal how exactly our blade will be employed. Nocticula silences Aurelia with a sharp gesture. We can discuss the details later, when the moment is right. Now is not the time for idle conversation. What do I gain by serving you? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interests. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you gifts befitting your ambitions and my patronage, which you can certainly count on. Will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream of. How exactly do you plan to close the world wound? She rolls her eyes. It is a complicated magical process. You will receive precise instructions once you've captured the threshold fortress on Galarian. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlish opened the world wound, you will be able to close it. But first, you have to crush the guardians of the threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzimira, Baphomet's daughter, is missing a large number of Nihindrian crystals in my realm. Mining Nihindrian crystals. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Galarian can stand against them. You must stop Hepzimira. If you do not, your world will fall, and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one time, I disclosed the secrets of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Dascari, Xanthir Vong and Mutasafin. It was a well-calculated gambit, which bought us time and assured both Dascari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mutasafin is Hepzimira's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzimira is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, their crews discover they've been gone for 100 years? That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey. I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew. If you kill Hepzimira, I will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Nocticula casts a sidelong glance at Arushale. Then again, I'm not offering you anything new, as you're already enjoying my favor, Commander. Your companion is a succubus, and I'm the succubus queen. This demon follows you around only because I allow it. Tell me, Arushale, are you grateful that I am not forbidding you from traveling with the commander and fighting against your own kind? Oh, damn. The succubus reluctantly lowers her head. You are incredibly generous, Our Lady in Shadows. Oh no. Sela winks at you. So what do you think, Commander? Personally, I'd rather take my chances rowing to this another island far from here in a rusty bucket than make any deals with the Lady in Shadow. I'll steer. Why is it so important to kill Hepzimira? Dascari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the world wound. They'll send their armies after you. So, you will need an army of your own. And that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzimira is mining more and more Nihindrian crystals to empower their forces when she attacks Galarian. If you don't stop her, the Crusaders' resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of demons pouring through the world wound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon's army supply of Nihindrian crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. Oops. I will consider your offer, Lady in Shadow, and accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances on Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzibah visits Illusionera every now and again, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Colifier, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig Nahindrian crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Galarian. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. Alright, well I guess that's our next destination. Yeah, we're definitely going to be splitting this into 2 separate episodes. I wish to inform you of treason. Nocticula looks quite amused. Is that so? Who is it you've decided to inform on? And more importantly, how did you learn of these traitors, and how credible are these accusations? Shamira is researching Nahindrian crystals in secret. Perhaps she is planning to overthrow you. A small smile appears on Nocticula's lips. How nice of you to warn me. I'm impressed. I do wonder, however, did you really think I was unaware of this? Or did you merely want to demonstrate your loyalty? Either way, I appreciate you telling me. I will take this as proof that I can rely on you. That was easy. Aspect of the Asp. Well, thank you. You were very astute to uncover Shamira's desire to dethrone me, and it was particularly sensible of you to keep your mouth shut about the secret of the Nahindrian crystal. I suppose your caution calls for a reward. The snap of Nocticula's fingers, one of the servants approaches you and presents you with a delicate package wrapped in gossamer-like silk. Mining Nahindrian crystals is a surefire way to sink the island the crystals are on to the bottom of Ishiar. I assume you understand why all who attempt to procure them on Elenithia were executed. At least you didn't tell Shamira about the mines you found. The last thing I need is the ardent dream burrowing under my own capital. Why do you still tolerate her? Someone has to deal with the trivial matters. Shamira's betrayal was assured the moment I made her my favorite, just as Zephyrians before her. The second always dreams of rising to be the first. I know the feeling well. A friend of mine, the storyteller, has peered into the future. In his vision, Hepzibah was sending demons after you. The demons were strengthened by Nahindrian crystals. A hint of dangerous excitement creeps into her voice. You are a font of knowledge, my dear guest. Let's just say I'm not surprised by her appetites. The ambitions of that brat, of her lecherous goat of a sire, were bound to suffer sooner or later, but your warning will encourage me to keep a closer eye on her. You could have gone to Hepzibah with this and received a payment for your silence. Your foresight must not go unrewarded. I'm surprised she wasn't curious about the storyteller. Secret ingredient. I said everything I wanted to say. Nocticula nods graciously. Your soul is surrounded by luminescence. What laws of the abyss have you broken? Nocticula arches a thin eyebrow. You think you can interrogate me in my own city? Brave, but foolish. There are some in your city who must be condemned for breaking the laws of the abyss, as well as the cosmic order. You must judge them. You don't say. And why do you concern yourselves with these laws? What gives you the right to tell me whom to judge? Nocticula's tone is calm, but looking into her eyes is like peering into the crater of a smoldering volcano. I'm an Aeon. Look into my eyes and you will understand. I just can't ignore what's happening around me. Yeah, I'm an Aeon. You stare into Nocticula's eyes. Your gaze is clashing like steel meeting steel. She is silent, but you know what she sees in the endless depths of the cosmos behind your eyes. Vivid nebula clouds, the tails of meteors streaking past, and stars hanging in the nothingness. Nocticula blinks as if awakened from a dream, and briefly brings her fingertips to her temples. Well, Aeon, there are times when even the ruler of Illusionera is in need of entertainment. I have never obeyed any laws or rules before, but why not try it now? Let's have a trial. I'd love to see an Aeon try to establish order among chaos. We'll get to that in a second. I killed Willidus, your court mage. Nocticula shows no hint of sadness. I am aware of this, of course. It is lamentable, in a way, since his fear of me was strong enough to make him impeccably loyal. However, his death is but a single move in a much larger game. In games like this, losing a few pawns is unavoidable. There's so much to ask. I want to ask you about other powerful denizens of the Abyss. Are you interested in one of my servants? Or do you wish to tell me do you wish for me to tell you something about your enemies? What's your relationship with Arilu? She works for me, isn't it obvious? Lady Vorlish is very talented. She may be the most brilliant and capable mind ever to come from your plane. And the guile she uses to betray one demon lord master after another impressed me so much that I offered her the position of my advisor on matters of magic. Naturally, the esteemed Lord Goat and Lord Locust don't know a thing about the betrayal of their faithful lackey. Lady Vorlish, I plan to keep it a secret for a while longer. Betrayal is too strong a word. I opened the path to Galarian for those two, and I told them how to extract power from the crystals. That will suffice. Doesn't it bother you that she serves another master? Nocticula smiles deviously. I'm not prone to jealousy. Let Descari think Lady Vorlish serves him still. His bug brain seems incapable of sensing betrayal. As for Baphomet, he, like any talented liar, is most vulnerable when he's trying to deceive someone else. He was so pleased to have fooled Descari that he became blind to the treachery that was happening right under his snout. In truth, Lady Vorlish's loyalty is mine alone. Loyalty is for fools, shared interest. That is what rational minds rely on. That and fear. No one in their right mind would oppose the Lady in Shadows. I hope I'm in my right mind, then if I oppose her. How did it really become your servant? When the world wound was first opened, it only led to Descari's realm. But then there was another, more powerful breach. The wound expanded, and its paths now passed through my realm, and Baphomet's as well. Before long, all sorts of interlopers had heard about the power contained within the crystals here, and the Midnight Isles were soon overrun with agents from my new neighbors. They fluted my embargo, burrowing greedily into my rocks, stealing my crystals. The main culprit was one Arilu Vorlish. She was the one who discovered the energies of the hindering crystals. I had captured her and was about to carry out her agonizing execution when Lady Vorlish offered me something I desired even more than her death. She entered my service, and her main task since then has been to close the world wound. Once it is sealed, my realm will once again be cut off from those of Baphomet and Descari, and their slaves will no longer be able to infiltrate my island with such ease. So that's... okay, I understand. Do you remember the elven archmage who used to serve you thousands of years ago? He's still alive. We know each other. Really? He was well past his youth even back then, and now... just how old is he? Can mortals even live that long? Well, apart from your immortal Aslanti? Say hello to him on my behalf. And tell him that the one who replaced him has disappointed me immensely with his incompetence, no matter how hard he tried. He could never live up to my magnificent elf. You know, you've managed to surprise me, a rare occurrence for someone who knows just about everything. With a bat of her eyelashes, Nocticula sends you a piercing gaze, one that feels like it's delving into the deepest corners of your souls. Oh boy. Are Baphomet and Descari your allies? The Goat and the Locust? Allies is too strong a word for our relationship. Our connection was forged by circumstance, not out of desire to deal with each other. When the world wound opened, it tied your world to our realms. I did not join my armies with theirs, but I was forced into making peace with them, so as not to be bogged down in a tiring and distracting war. If I had the opportunity, I would have met them on my terms and expanded my territories at their expense. Nocticula indulges herself with a thin smile. Unfortunately, this is not currently possible. By the way, one of them came to me with the offer of an atrocious alliance that involved conceiving little ones together. I'm still contemplating the specifics of my refusal. It needs to be clear and unambiguous. Her ensuing laughter is deep and musical, almost enchanting. Everything's clear. She gives you a mysterious smile. I want to know more about you. Recounting my whole story would take longer than your brief mortal life allows. The list of demon lords I've slain is endless on its own, as is the number of islands under my rule. And that's just the past. There's also my future. How'd you become a lord? Bear in mind that I have always been unique ever since I was born. I was the first succubus of the Abyss, the perfect specimen of my race. I had been enjoying my youth, sharing it with my brother and lover, until the hungry gaze of the demon lord Nahindri fell upon me. That greedy tyrant saw me as a jewel to be added to his treasure hoard. He tried to abduct me. I knew I had no chance of defeating a demon lord, but in that moment I was not thinking at all. I was fighting for my freedom. When it was all over, Nahindri was dead. I eviscerated him. For many days afterwards, blood spewed from his open carcass. First, his body turned to stone, and then his blood, which had been flowing like a stream, began to crystallize into massive purple glaciers. Now do you see why they are called Nahindrian crystals? Perhaps they should be called Nocticulan crystals, because as Nahindri's blood crystallized, so too did my understanding of my power. Soon after, I began my campaign of conquest. I was cunning and swift, and the demon lords themselves trembled before me, knowing I could take their very lives. Only when all the Abyss spoke my name with terror and reverence did I decide that I had killed enough. I had a realm. I had power I no longer shared with my brother. I had servants. And most importantly, I had safety. No one has ever repeated old Nahindri's mistake. No one has tried to make me their slave. It's commendable. I guess it is, but you don't gotta killing everybody. You see, that part's maybe not so commendable. Are the Midnight Isles really the corpses of slain demon lords? Yes, my realm is quite literally built on the bones of my slain enemies. Ironic, isn't it? How did you turn dead demon lords into islands? Nocticula responds with a mocking smile. Surely you don't expect me to reveal the secret to you. There is no need for mortals to learn the weaknesses of demon lords. All I can say is that everything started with my desire for revenge. After I had dealt with Nahindri, I was furious at the thought of that vile, lecherous wretch just teleporting over to the Rift of Repose, where he could turn to stone and stay there to rot for the remainder of eternity. I wanted to trample his foul corpse, to keep his bloodied body within my sight forever. I yearned to display my glorious trophy to all the Abyss. And that's when my power first manifested. I studied my newfound abilities and learned how to use them. Before long, I possessed not just one island, but an entire archipelago. What do you plan to do next? Subdue all of the Abyss? Possibly. Or perhaps I have something grander in mind. The Abyss? Who cares about the Abyss? Nocticula's full-throated laughter rings out like a challenge to the entire world. No more questions? It's always nice to indulge one's curiosity. I have a question. From her sleeve, Nenio produces a pencil and a piece of paper. Lady Nocticula, how many copulation partners have you had? I'm making a list for the encyclopedia, and I believe you may take one of the top spots. Sela tries prodding Nenio's side, but not before the question is asked. For a few tense moments, Nocticula peers into Nenio's face and yours, then smiles with the slightest curve of her lips. What matters to me is not the quantity, but quality. And I am well ahead of any other denizen of the Abyss in that regard. That is where we will end this discussion. Ready to depart over my camp at the Nexus and all who reside there? Now I'm ready to hunt down. Are these both the same thing? I still have some business. I think so. This just means, I guess if I say this one, they don't protect my people. I'm ready to judge. Nocticula wags one of her slim fingers. Not so fast. I have my conditions. First, I will be the one who passes the sentence. Naturally, I will listen to your opinion, but I won't allow you to ruin my fun. Second, out of all of Elushinira, you may choose only 3 culprits, and no more. Finally, you must judge them immediately, as any game that drags on too long soon becomes a chore. Are you prepared to give me the names? So, wait, I only have 2 people. I'm assuming I can come back. Zara. Zara, I know of her and her experiments. Let's see what she can tell us. Is there anyone else? Arilu Vorlish? Nocticula permits herself a chuckle. Of course. What other name could you have possibly called? Rein in your bloodlust, Aeon. Hey, Lady Vorlish is not one of my subjects. Besides, I have my own plans for her future. Rilu sighs, giving you a condescending look, as if you were a child throwing a tantrum. You have not fully understood what it means to be an Aeon, yet you have the nerve to demand answers of anyone you meet. How very mortal of you. I've said all the names. Let's begin the trial. I fail to see anything interesting in all this, so I shall take my leave. She turns to you. If you're hoping to see justice meted out in the Lucianera, as it was in Dresden, prepare to be disappointed. Well, Aeon, entertain me. Okay. Zara and her son are ushered forward. Nocticula looks at Zorgus, who is frozen in terror beside his mother, and then turns her attention to Zara. So, Zara, daughter of Ishiar, the Aeon accuses you of going against creation and making something that shouldn't exist. Now, I wonder, what could that be? Zara quails beneath Nocticula's gaze, but she tries not to show her fear. She stares down at the floor defiantly. This Aeon imposter doesn't know what he's talking about. For many years, I have conducted experiments on my children. Only Zorgus was strong enough to survive. He is proof that Clipoth and demon blood can be crossed successfully. Really? A Clipoth and a demon? Demons defeated these creatures a long time ago. The abyss is ours by right of conquest. So what is the point of your experiment? Are you crossbreeding a stronger species with a weaker one? Not at all, my lady. Demons have not conquered all of the abyss. There are places where even we cannot go, yet Clipoths can move through them freely. As long as such places exist, we cannot truly call ourselves the masters of the abyss. However, my creation will change that. Zorgus is not just an amusing experiment, he is a weapon. He will protect us from the dangerous enemies that lurk in these hidden places. He is growing stronger and more powerful with every passing day. Nocticula turns to you, a faint smile playing on her lips. Did you hear that? It seems that without little Zorgus, I'll be left unprotected from the Clipoths. Do you want me to perish in the jaws of these terrible creatures, Aeon? The crossbreeding of a Clipoth and a demon violates the law of creation. With the Lady of Lucianera's permission, I will execute this creature. If this research is vital to the survival of the demonic race, Zara should be allowed to continue her experiment. I suggest that you execute Zara, but leave the boy alive. He would be a useful servant once his mother is gone. The boy gazes at you in horror. Wait, did I say the wrong thing? He glances toward his mother, then looks pleadingly at Nocticula. Don't, Mommy. Nocticula considers your words. Well, I've made up my mind. Aeon, you were convincing, but not convincing enough. Zara, you can continue your experiment. I would be interested to discover what lurks in the depths of Ishiar, although I hope the boy comes back with stories of treasure and not Clipoths. Yes, my lady. Zorgus will serve you faithfully, just as I do. Is there something you wish to say, Aeon? Just a minute. You didn't listen to me. You did the opposite of what I said. Nocticula gives you a gentle smile. I allowed these trials, but I never said I'd let you make the decisions for me. I trust your wisdom, dear Aeon, and in return, you must trust my judgment. After all, I am the ruler of Lucianera. Nocticula sighs. Well, Aeon, that was boring. I'm tired of all these rules. They're so restrictive. I tried to make the trials more entertaining, but I think I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. You are free to go. Okay. Is she on her throne? Can I talk to her? She's not there. She's gone. Nope, she is there. Okay. Hey, I wasn't done talking to you. Are you finished with your business and ready to hunt down Hepzimira? I still have some business. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where it really was but a moment ago, then stops. Then stops you with a commanding gesture. There's one more thing we must discuss. The Lexicana Paradox, Lady Vorlish's magical treatise that contains many secrets of the world wound. You and my servant, Lady Vorlish, were just talking about the Lexicana Paradox. For many years, it has remained split in half, harmless. But what was once divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book could impart to its owner? What if they expand the world wound even further, or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicana Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You already possess the first half of the book. Find the other half and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book into my keeping will also protect Galarian from suffering a second world wound disaster. The Lexicana Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags, wouldn't you agree? Why do you need this book? One world wound alone was enough of a nuisance for me. I want to ensure that some future mage leafing through this book doesn't link my realm to another plane. I'll consider your offer. The reward will not disappoint you, I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. Alright, I'll see you later. You have taken a liking to my city, I see. Well then, savor it to the fullest, and then come back for truly important business. Nocticula's lips part in a smile that is both predatory and alluring. Alright, whew, man, that was a long section right there. It was really, really good though. Really interesting. And we are at our next mythic level here. We're not going to do it right now. We'll wait until the next episode. We'll have to split this episode in two, so I might release them on the same day as each other too. Maybe one in the morning, one in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, or until the next episode, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.